So this is my explanation video of this Gallifreyan design, and I'll explain what it says using this transcription key. So this is Sherman's version of Circular Gallifreyan. It's a fan-made script, but I really tried to make this one look like something from the show. So I added a couple extra lines here and there. Anyway, so you start reading bottom counterclockwise. So you go to the bottom, and then you find the first word you hit. And words are larger circles, so here's a word, 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 here's a word. And even though this one does line up at the bottom, this is where it's closest to the edge of the circle, so you would start here and you'd read this one first. Anyway, so bottom counterclockwise, here's our first word, here's the bottom of it, and here's our first letter on that word. It's a circle inside the circle with nothing on it. Circle inside the circle, nothing on it. J. Okay? And then a smaller circle is a vowel, and this one has no lines, so it is not an I or a U, and it's right in the middle of our consonant, so it's an E. So J-E, and a double line is a double letter, so here's a double circle inside the circle with one line. Circle inside the circle, one line, double N. J-E-N-N. Okay, continuing around. Here are two lines that connect up with the word circle to the sentence circle, so this is punctuation. Two lines is an apostrophe, and then 1, 2, 3 lines on this 50% or less completed circle is an S. So this says Jens. Continuing around, this means nothing. It's not attached to anything, so it's not like, this is just a decoration. Continuing around, here's our apostrophe. Continuing around, here's two more decorations around here. And here's our next word. This is the first circle with any, recognizable chunks coming from it. So here is the bottom of it, and going counterclockwise, here is the stem, and on the stem there's one line, two line, so it's an omega stem, so it's more than 50% completed with two lines, so that's an H. Continuing around, here's a little circle, so it's a vowel, and it's inside our word circle, so it's towards the middle, so it's an O, like that, H-O, and then continuing around, here is another little circle, so it's another vowel, it's a line going outwards. So that's a U, like this, line going outwards. And now this is where it gets really hard to see because I have this line, which is just a circle decoration. It's not connecting to anything. And then we have this line, which is the stem, 50% or less completed circle. And on it, there's one line ending on it, two lines ending on it, three lines ending on it. So that's an S. Now it looks like it could be a double S, but it isn't because this is not part of the stem. It's just a single S. Okay, and then last letter is another vowel. It's an E because it's right on the line of the word circle. House. So Jen's house. And then continue around. Here's our next word. I put it in its own little circle, just to help keep, I don't know, I thought it looked cool. But anyway, this is the word circle. And you can tell it's the word circle because it's the only circle with any, stems on it. It is an omega stem. Well, first bottom, you have a little vowel by itself. That's an O, just like this O. So O, and then continue around. Here's this stem with 1, 2, 3. So omega with 3 is an F. So house of, this is of. Continuing around, here's the next word, bottom of it. Here is the first stem. It's 50% or less completed with 1, 2, 3 dots on it, so it is an R. And then hanging out by it is a vowel. This one is outside our word circle, so it's an A. So it's like that, R-A. Continuing around, here is another vowel with a line going towards the middle. It's an I, rain. Here's an N. Circle inside the circle with one line, so just like this N, rain. And here is a stem. Even though the lines pass through it, they don't end on it, so you're fine. It doesn't count for anything. So that's a B. And here is a vowel. It's an O because it's on the stem. B-O. Okay. Now here's another double line. So I have two stacked stems, except they're a different thickness. So these are different letters. You read thin to thick. So here is the thin one. And we read that first, and on it there's 1, 2 lines on it, so that's a W. And then here's the thick one, 1, 2, 3 lines on it, so that's an S, rainbows. Continuing around, here's the next one. Okay, here's the bottom of it. Here's a vowel outside A. A. Continuing on, here's an N, just like this N or this N. And here's the D. So it's an omega with 3 dots. 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots. So here's the and. Continuing around, here's our next word circle, and here's the bottom of it. These 3 dots are the punctuation at the end of the sentence. They can't be for this stem because it's too far away, first of all, and because this one has lines on it. Here's our first vowel. First letter is a vowel. It's an A because it's outside the circle. Continuing around, this line passes through it, doesn't count. This one ends on it, and this one ends on it. It's only 2 end on it. So that is a W. W, A-W. Continuing around, here's an E, little e. E, continuing around. 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines on this stem. So that's an S. And then here's another vowel. It's an O hanging out inside our word circle, just like that O. O. And then here is an M because we have 1 line ending on it, 2 lines ending on it, 3 lines ending on it. That's an M. And then we have our last vowel. It's an E because it is inside the consonant circle, like this. If it were an A, it'd be outside. If it were an O, it'd be inside. If it were an I, it'd have a line. If it were a U, it'd have a line. Anyway, so that's an E. And then here is our punctuation to end our sentence. So that's an exclamation point. So Jen's house of rainbows and awesome. Woot! Exclamation point.